Here's number 2 to dealing with the consistent atrocities of America and euphemisms. That is to use your paper and pen all the time. Now, you might not have a sort of understanding to what this whole culture means with all the social media, electronics, and the cloud, but you do know that your companies that you utilize in your apps and your devices have this ability to store and use your information because you signed the agreement. So what you should do is use something that they could never see or you never took a picture of or video of, and just make sure that you use that, and that's a pen and paper. Pen and paper is really gold to privacy because you can really get away from the whole situation and put your own interests out there good and fast. The moment you thought of work into a piece of paper, it is yours, and you can hide that from anyone, even burn it away, and know what was written even after you burned it away. It is similar to social media, but social media is something sharing that everyone will recognize that is particularly you, and they'll respect it if they are sort of in the mindset to also be productive. From my experience, if you've seen someone who's not productive, or if they've given out too much to the world, they'll possibly inherit your personalities and try to start monetizing off of that. Using a pen and paper is important because if you look at what you can do with a piece of paper, you can draw, you can do this, and you can create some innovation that will help you in the future, like I have in my P-Color Advisor, which is all done on paper, and then I use some of my coding background to develop it and help people choose the right colors for their outfits and even search for them. I've also written some books, and you should check them out in the description below. It's important to deal with euphemism like this because in your papers you ultimately know your unilateral thought, which is with the whole world and their decisions of how they should be perceiving you. You should be perceived, but you also have your personal safe room that is also going to be administered when you write the paper, and that is secret to you and it's something that you can understand. I'm sure there are many secret services that can utilize this sort of note-taking that you have, such as we all know the surveillance system is going to look at if you have some sort of terrible atrocities planned, but you might have some thoughts about the US always pursuing the interest, and you might find this channel interesting because it has to do with competition, because ultimately the US policies that run human rights and Apple and Google are from America, and you might not like it because it doesn't let your country compete with whatever the US is doing. And the US has the military, like I mentioned in previous videos, to back their interests up, which is a euphemism to say, hey, we're backing our interests up with our military and our euphemisms, and our companies are going to stay number one. And that's a euphemism, and the action is taking surveillance, and the surveillance is also saying, we're just surveilling you because we want to make sure our American interests are good, but we don't want you to necessarily become any sort of information that will be number one to compete with us because we want to hold the money. And on top of it all off, America prints all the money, and it's the strongest dollar, according to Great Britain and Great Pound and the Euro. A little bit less, but it is very strong.